Hi, today I'm outside and I want to show you the inside of our camper van and a bit more of our camper van. I did a little video last week which was about our journey here and buying the camper van, that kind of thing. And so now I'd like to actually show you the camper van where it is now. So we moved it up to the top of our land and we use it as a sort of like a spare room really. Our house is small but we have other little buildings, so the camper van is one of them. And yeah, it's somewhere we're attached to because it's a bit sentimental. The fact we lived in it for 3 months when we were travelling around France trying to find somewhere to live, and then for another 10 months when we were actually here on site. It was in a different location, but after we were able to go into the house, we moved it up to the top of the land. We've got quite a steep slope, but we dug into the slope. There's a little track that runs around the back, and we took the camper van round there. I'm making that sound really easy. It was the most horrible day. It was one of the worst days here, I'd say, because it was so scary. And the camper van got stuck sort of halfway down the slope. We had to go and get the farmer who lived up the road, who's an old guy. He's since died, lovely old French guy. And he came with a huge tractor, with his biggest tractor, and rescued us, basically towed it back and helped it to go back into place where we wanted it on this slope. And a lot of the, our closest neighbours were terrified. They kept saying, it's an awful place, it's going to fall down a hill. Well, it's been up there now for 9 years. It's shown no sign of moving. There is a slight slope, but it's nothing much. People have slept in it. I use it as a spare room, that kind of thing. So it's still there, so that's good. So I'm going to show you now where it is. Okay. So it's there. Now you won't be able to see it much. There's a few little trees growing around it, which is great. We were trying to hide it at one time. Not that we managed very successfully, but it's painted. We painted trees on the outside of it to try and disguise it. So you'll see when we get closer. But that's the view sort of from our potager, from the bottom of the garden looking up. You might be able to see a swing there, I don't know. There's my swing, as I call it. Tom made that swing for me. I'll show you that as well. So I'm going to try and film the route up and hope it's not too bumpy to watch. Okay, it might be. Let's go into this tree, but it's quite nice for you to get some idea of how sort of hidden away it is. There we go. So it's just coming into view now. I'm also trying to avoid nettles because, as you can see, everything has suddenly gone green here. So the difference from, I think it was 3 weeks ago when we had the snow, and this is just a little track that leads up to it. There we are, I've got the door open. I'm just giving it a little clean actually. I usually clean it in the spring because it gets a bit, usually lots of ladybirds move in and spiders. So I've just cleaned all the cobwebs and stuff. There we are. So now you can see it. We called it Morgan. We thought by giving it a name when we set out, because we had so many problems with it breaking down, we thought bizarrely if we called it something it might behave better. I'm not sure that worked. Yeah, so we've covered it because just to protect the roof a bit, it was leaking in a couple of places, so we've put another roof over the top of it, which has really helped. There's 2 solar panels there. Doesn't really need 2. It's fine with 1. We had 1 tiny, in fact our tiny one is hidden down here. That little square there, that was the one we had when we were travelling, and then we've since got these 2, but really we only need 1 of those. And a bit of makeshift decking. There's my swing. I'll go a bit higher. Okay, so this is, I'm stood up just in front of the camper van now, looking across the swing with a rather scary gangplank. That swing is actually quite high up, but it's lovely once you get on it. It's a bit scary getting on. Once you do it, it's okay. It's also a little bit scary getting off. I might ask Tom to do a little video of me getting on and off it. We'll see. And then this is a view. That's the back of the workshop. Our house is just behind that. And then actually you can see neighbours' houses up there. So we have got other people near us, but not so close. Well, basically we sort of look in the other direction. So all that I'm videoing now is actually probably all our land, I think, all the trees. It's very beautiful and green now. You probably hear the hens occasionally in the background as well. Okay, let's go up a couple of little steps here into the camper van. So I'm hoping you'll be able to see inside okay. A little bit dark, but I think it'll sort itself out. So there we are, the entrance to our camper van. And I'm actually inside now. I'm a bit out of breath, just coming up the hill. And here we are. So I'm quite attached to this, having lived in it for a while. So I'll just show you around a little bit. Okay, there's some pictures still. That's the shower and toilet in there. Shower never really worked. We tended to just have a wash at the sink most of the time. Got quite good at that. These are pictures from, well, mainly pictures that people gave us before we set off on our journey. So some of them have come unstuck in the heat. You probably see bits of blue out where there were pictures. And others we've just left up. They've survived. This thing is very important. This string with hearts on it. You can see it. That's what we used to see whether we were level or not when we parked up at various sites. So as you can see, we're not level here, but it's not too bad and it's not actually a problem. So that's good. And then, yeah, various other pictures and things. This is a seat cover I made. This is actually for the, as you can see, it doesn't really fit there. So this is actually for the swing bench outside, but it's in here during the winter until summer gets going properly, and I'll probably leave it out. That's where we slept up there, and as you can see, it was a little bit tight. That ceiling is quite close, but we got used to it, and there was a curtain you could pull across as well if you wanted to. So yeah, I got to quite like it actually. It was okay, but I'm not rushing to do it again. I've just done a bit of a spring clean, so I have put some flowers there, so make it look pretty. And then hopefully I can show you the view from here as well. I'll show you the view outside anyway, it's more or less the same, but that's what we see through the window. Lots of trees, we're kind of above the trees here. So, and that's why we really wanted to get it up here. Well, I say we, Tom really wanted to get it up here. I didn't think it was going to be possible. But it was possible, and I must admit I've really appreciated it. It's a lovely space to be. And then coming round, various bits and pieces, our little oven here. And there we go, there's our oven, little grill and everything. We had everything we needed really, just in a very basic form. And there we are back out again. Lots of cupboard space as well. Loads of cupboards. And we liked the fact it was all sort of wood, and it just, I think having just a little bit of a curve here as well just made it a little bit more homely somehow. It was very nice. So there we are, just a little quick tour of our first home here and our camper van. So I hope you enjoyed seeing that. Actually, I just say I had to redo that video again because our neighbour was walking past on the path that I told you we moved the camper van on. Our new farmer neighbour was just walking past, and in the middle of the video he started tapping with a big stick on the window. At first I ignored it. I thought, oh, it's just an animal or something. And then the second time I thought, I better go and have a look. It's a blooming big animal. Anyway, it was a big animal. So it was our neighbour. So I just had to just redo that little bit. Okay. Anyway, have a good week. See you. Bye.